So, as promised, we are here to look at David's Escort Mk1. But what's really special about it is that. We'll be talking about that in a minute. Rather pretty. And we're going to be taking it for a drive.
Point in time. But I've been looking for a left-hand drive Escort for 5 years. And there are not many, there's loads of right-hand drive ones in the UK, and they're more expensive. So trying to find a left-hand drive one was really, really difficult. So after 5 years worth of looking, when I was on vacation, one came up, and I was like, this looks really promising. It was in Finland, and I bought it through a broker. So there's an English guy out there called Cosworth Motorsports, and he's from Essex or something down in London way. So I contacted him.
Essex and Escorts, that rings a bell.
Because I thought he would be selling Capris, or XR3i white ones, convertibles. So yeah, he was representing the car. So I contacted him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, the car's still available." Blah 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 blah. And I said, "Okay, well, I'm not back home yet, so wait till I get home, and I'll try and get a deal done." And he goes, "Fair enough." He said, "I said, but if you get any interest before that, let me know, and I'll send you over a deposit so that I can secure the car." Well, within a day, he'd had 2 offers from the UK.
Wow.
So to try and find one of these in this condition, at that price point, with these modifications, is tricky in the UK, to be sure.
Even left-hand drive in the UK, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So my buddy, who's probably got arguably the best one of these in the world, he completed it earlier this year, a guy called Lee Workman, who's one of my buddies from when I was a kid. He did exactly that. He bought a left-hand drive car from Europe and converted it to right-hand drive and did everything. He's done a magnificent work on it. He's a silver one. He's got a Cosworth motor in it as well. But trying to find the cars is really difficult because obviously in the UK, rust is a massive issue.
Yeah.
So trying to find a rust-free one, and obviously it is really challenging.
Well, most of the ones that my mates had when we were kids ended up in the scrapyard.
Mine ended up in hedges and then the scrapyard.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah. One guy famously put one in the Armco on the motorway. Yeah. I think that was the second one he wrote off. I can't remember how he did the first one.
My brother wrote 2 off. I never wrote. I had lots of experiences in mine, but I never actually wrote it off. In fact, both of mine were sold. I had an RS2000, Mk1 RS2000.
Nice.
Which I tried to renovate, failed miserably, so I learned that I couldn't do that. And then I had an would have been called an auto grass car, which I converted to a road car. And I was going to rally, then the day I went to the rally, I decided to smash it into a bridge. So that didn't do very well. But both of those cars, I actually ended up selling them to like a motorsport breakers yard. So the guys would buy them and then strip them down and all that kind of stuff.
The rally story was more of a did not start than did not finish.
It did not start. It was a great idea because obviously I was 19, so I knew everything. So we bought this car. And an autograss car, you've got to go and put lights in, just make it road legal. Going back to this car, we found it in Finland, and as I said, 2 people had already shown interest from the UK just because of the condition of it, and it's pretty much, there's a little bit of surface rust, but nothing really significant compared to what in the UK you'd expect. So, I have to go and give them a deposit.
Haven't noticed any at all.
There's like 2 spots down the bottom of the wing here. You can see it here.
Yeah.
You'd
have to look hard. Yeah.
So then I'm told, okay, I'm going to send you a deposit.
I know, he bangs on more than me, but it's actually quite interesting, so do stay tuned. I've already edited out quite a chunk for your convenience. We are going to be driving it soon as well.
But what you don't realise in Finland is there's a driving season, and in the winter, which in Finland is basically 9 months, you can't drive these cars.
No.
So to drive it in the winter, you need studded tyres and all that kind of stuff. These cars, there would be a handful. So it was in a guy's garage in the north of Finland that was snowed in. So I sent over them money, I could actually go and see the car, inspect it, and if it was worth it, pay the money over. That was the whole process. But he couldn't drive it because the garage, it was still like 6 feet of snow outside, so the garage was completely blocked. So all he could do was start it up and make sure it worked.
Right.
And it was like, but of course, we couldn't get the car for months because it was snowed in.
Couldn't get it out, yeah.
So it's a nerve-wracking thing. Like, I think a lot of people have probably thought about what's it like buying on the internet. Well, over here we bring a trailer and there's some security that comes with that, right? That you've got, it's underwritten by bring a trailer to make sure the car exists and everything. So this was a bit more.
Well, at least you had the consignment guy in the middle who's, you know, got some history and
yeah. So it's all based on.
Even if he was from Essex.
Yeah, exactly. That was the biggest problem. We got it out. He got it out the garage and got it transferred to his shop. But the weather's so bad. You don't want to, when it's raining, and you know what it's like on those horrible, murky, rainy, drizzly days in the UK. It's like that
all the time. Yeah,
I mean, that's the summer. So, so then eventually, me and the guy I bought this because we shared this car. We went out. We did a trip over to Scandinavia to go and see the car, and then work out everything that we wanted. Because always the thing with me with this particular car was I knew if we didn't like it, we could sell it in the UK.
Right.
Because we knew two people had been hot
already interested,
So I knew a bit more about what the motor was and all this kind of stuff. So I knew I bought it at the right price. So we went over there to make sure that it's what we wanted, and it was. And then we had to ship it over. So shipping took another 4 months.
It's not straightforward, is
it? Finland isn't a popular place for roll-on, roll-off ferries to go.
I've only done it once with that Corvette, that C6, and it was whilst the car was in Fort Worth, Texas. So I had it road shipped to Baltimore, and then it was Baltimore to Liverpool, one hit, right? No problem. Finland, sounds complicated.
So that was the cheapest part, was getting it to California was $3,500. It's thinking about moving it from Finland across to wherever it was in Germany that they shipped the roll-on, roll-off ferries. So we did it from there and that was all relatively expensive. But then coming through the California docks, unloading the car, getting it shipped to Phoenix, that cost another $4,500.
So obviously this didn't start out with this motor in it. So do you know what motor was actually originally in this particular vehicle?
This is actually built in Germany. So if you look here, this is actually a German car. You know, and us Brits probably thought they were all built in Halewood in the UK, but they're not. This is actually a German car. So all the European left-hand drives, as far as I'm aware, were built in Solaris, Germany. So a little bit different than the UK ones. And actually,
well, Germany used to build a lot of the Capris as well, right?
Yeah, they did, like the Cologne.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit different than a UK standard car. This is strengthened like, so in the UK, all the RSs, which is the sports model, right? The Mexico, the RS 1600 and the RS 2000, all were slightly strengthened over a normal car because the bodies would bend.
Right.
So they had strengthening here under these wings and other bits and pieces. Now in Germany they did that to all the cars, from what I can understand. So specifically Finland, because when I was looking at if this car was like an AVO car, which is the special vehicle operations actually it's called advanced vehicle operations for Ford, they would do all these things to make them into the special cars so they could handle the power. You know, that 80 horsepower of the Mexico engine was a big thing. So it's got a couple of different things. It's got like dual front and rear brakes rather than just one straight one. Obviously this is modified a lot from those original cars, but I thought that was an aftermarket thing they've done, but apparently that's original to the German/Finland cars. So been in Finland all its life, but say for the last 25 years it was one guy that owned it, and he's been modifying it over a period of years. So he first put in a 1600 crossflow motor in it. So it started off with a 1300, so a 1600 crossflow, which would have been the same as a Mexico. Right. That's what he put in it with a 5-speed gearbox. So then he did, and that, let's say that was 20 years ago.
So is the gearbox out of a Mexico?
No, because the Mexico was only a 4-speed. This has got a gearbox.
I
think out of a Ford Sierra P100, which is the Sierra,
pickup truck.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's one of the challenges with buying a modified car.
Yeah.
When you try and work on it, it's like, what the hell is really in it?
Yeah, knowing what it
Trying
is.
to find the parts
Yeah.
is like, you got to see that as a challenge and enjoy it. Otherwise, it drives you goddamn crazy.
Absolutely. Anyone that buys any one of my bikes has that same problem. Yes.
Same problem, yeah. That's where you charge them the up fee comes up. Oh, you want to know what actual parts are on it? So he'd done it as a 1600 and he drove it around for years as a 1600, and then in the early days he also put these wings on. So these, what I call forest arches. Mm-hmm. These were done a long time ago. I do have in the records when it was done, but like in the 1980s. I think before the last guy owned it, because he's only had a couple of owners. And these are metal wings that came from Bora.
Oh, nice.
Was where the rally sport stuff was done in the UK.
Yeah.
So some of these cars will have just fiberglass wings.
Yeah, quite.
So these are actually metal. So they're actually
Wow.
a lot more, sought after in the community apparently. But obviously this is a very modified car. So then he decided, I think he had it in that configuration for probably 10 years. Then he decided, okay, now I'm going to do a whole refurbishment. So he went through complete rotisserie restoration on the bodywork.
Wow.
Resprayed it this colour.
It's a beautiful colour, actually.
Yeah, it's a nice colour.
Rick should have done his Daytona this colour.
Yes, exactly. And then he put the Cosworth motor in it. So to me, this is what, as a kid, this is what you wanted to do to an Escort. You wanted to put this motor into this car.
And this is from a Sierra Cosworth.
Yeah, this is a Sierra Cosworth motor, probably from a 1986 car.
Right.
It's a little bit upgraded. It's probably got 300 horsepower, whereas the stock one has 205 or something.
And is that just a chip process, or?
Yeah, it's got injectors, so it's got higher flow injectors on it and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just a stage 1 kit.
Right.
It's probably got a little bit more boost, but you really don't need the power.
No, you don't. I mean, even in the original Sierras, so a mate of mine had the Sapphire. I think he had a stage 2 kit on it. I know it was just dangerous, honestly.
Yeah, so that he did all this. He put upgraded suspension on. The suspension is just Capri suspension, like 2.8 injection.
Oh, okay, it's not like Nitron or whatever like we've got.
None of that kind of stuff. Because you remember this was done 10, 15 years ago was the upgrade, when he went through it again. Where you can redo the whole suspension, all that kind of stuff. So he did a lot of work on it. I think most of it was on the bodywork. What was always strange on this car that he did not have a limited slip differential in it, which is one of the things that we've done since we brought it over, because we think it just needed a limited slip. In fact, when I drove you with it, I don't know if you remember, it was really noisy at the back end.
Yeah, whiny.
This has now got a limited slip diff in, which is quite perfect. It doesn't make any of those noises anymore.
Ah, cool.
So it's made a big difference to the drivability of the car.
I didn't realise you'd already done that. I knew that was an issue. And that handles the power much better as well?
Yeah, I mean, we have not used this car as we haven't gone sideways in it yet.
No.
Because we don't want to blow it up.
No.
So we're getting it to, so when it came in, it didn't have the stripes on it. So we put the stripes on. That's something I wanted to do. And I think that really transformed the look of the car, because it really extenuated. You'll see when you look at the pictures of the car in the original adverts when it was sold, these bulges are here, but it's not. Right. This really
it does.
Highlights them.
It does. It brings out the curves, and even just the curves in the body line itself show up much better with the stripe.
Yeah, because you don't. Yeah. So we've gone through and done that, and we've just done things.
Shouldn't you have your name up here? Is there enough room?
It was 90% complete when we got it, and then we've gone through and just started to work on things to improve it.
Well, we were talking about it earlier because I spotted the fact that you put this heat-resistant stuff on the hood, which is apparently to protect the paint, because you were getting what readings?
200 degrees here.
Yeah, that's hot.
That's hot for paint. So we didn't want to. And we've only just done this, so
you got the same at the back there.
Yeah, so that's
You've insulated that itself.
The turbo
and the downpipe.
Yeah. And I think this will be a continual quest, is to reduce power, is to reduce cooling, because the heat is always going to be an issue.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have to see how that goes.
Yeah, and there's no way you can put vents in the hood or anything.
Vents. Some people say vents work, and other people say they don't.
Yeah, Michael's not a big fan, is he?
No. So I know a couple of guys in the US with these cars. The one guy I spoke to, the car looks exactly like this. You would think that they're just twin brothers. I think he's got gold stripes rather than silver stripes. But he just had the terrible accident of the bonnet going up when he was driving it. So he had to replace the bonnet, and he had vents, and he's taken the vents out because he was saying it has no effect. The problem you get is that basically everybody in the UK doesn't have heat.
No, it's not an issue.
You don't see the temperatures that we. So it's pretty much we've got to learn and improve things as we go along if it needs it.
Yeah.
I don't want to just change things for changing things for sake. The car works. That's the biggest thing. The car works, and obviously every time you tinker with something, you've got a potential of it not working.
But
when I tinker with it.
But as you say, when the car is trying to cool itself with ambient air that is 90-something degrees, you're already on the back foot, right? Yeah. Compared to 50 degrees in the UK.
Yeah. And it's, in some cases in the UK, you want your car to be warmer because it's so cold all the time. So you want the engine to come to temperature. That's not an issue here. I mean, obviously in Flagstaff in the winter it would be.
Yeah.
You get down to the minus temperatures, certainly from a centigrade perspective. But
I remember my dad blocking off half the radiator.
Was it with a piece of cardboard?
Yeah.
Yeah, a piece of cardboard. Yeah. That's what my dad would do as well. With
in the winter, right?
He was like, how the hell do we get the... Because these was a diesel.
Oh, right.
That was even worse.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So should we take it out for a spin then and see what we think?
I think we should.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. About bloody time, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Hang on, folks. Minor adjustment. What we've discovered is that the hood is actually just scraping the paint there when you close it down. So we're just going to shift that forward a bit, which will probably ruin all the rest of the shut lines, but there you go. The exhaust is not as offensive as it looks.
Did any smoke come out?
No.
Good. I've never videoed it to see if actually smoke comes out. I don't think it does.
Well, I don't think there was any. It's difficult to tell though, obviously, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Even if I rev it a little bit, I think it's very particularly loud.
Yeah, it's throaty but not loud.
I mean, that wasn't. I didn't get onto the turbo then, but it was like 2,500 RPM.
Yeah. No,
sophisticated is what I'd like to call it.
There you go. I'm not sure any Escort fits in that category, but preparing for takeoff. So what we've got down here, we've got digital rev counter, because apparently this one's wildly inaccurate.
At the moment,
which means it's genuine, right? And we got a boost gauge. And we've got air fuel ratio. I've never seen one of those before.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to take out to put a proper temperature gauge in. And they're going to move these probably over to here because they just look a bit naff.
Yeah, plus it's a bit of a distraction to be glancing down there, right?
But this, I think it's reading over by, I'm not on RPM.
You could have them up on the A-pillar, like the Royces.
That's why your advice has not been sought.
It's funny, I was showing pictures to my mate in the UK, this car this morning, and he said, "Oh, that's really sweet." I said, "Yeah, he needs to put those big holes in the front fender though," and he's like, "He needs to not let you anywhere near the car." So this is just like being 17 again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, except for the fact that we're still on the road.
That's true, yeah. And we don't
We've
have
been a hedge or a ditch by now.
and we don't have the acne, but I'm sure you can Photoshop the acne on there, right?
Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was fun and something a little bit different. We'll be doing a few more of those because he has a few more cars. He's a very lucky boy. Yes, of course, we'll be doing the Lancia Delta Integrale Evo 1. Hopefully his Noble at some point, even the Renault Alpine, although I don't think that ever makes it up to Flagstaff, but that'll have to be sometime during the winter, and I'll take a trip down to Phoenix. Oh, and he's got some other weird concoction. It's basically a Mitsubishi Starion, but it's not. It's a Dodge something. I don't know. Starship Enterprise, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the Escort. I did. Certainly a rarity in North America, and rarer still, of course, because of that Cosworth Turbo engine. Very interesting motor. If you've got any questions about it, obviously pop them in the comments down there. I'll do my best to answer them, and if I can't, I'll refer to David himself and see what he comes up with. Thanks for watching. If you thought the video was any good, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down here while you're down there if you haven't already. And of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.